With the latest on a WWE star's return to action and more, this is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we move on, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Rambles with notifications on, and don't forget to like the video. Revealing that WWE has talked to her about a commentary role, correspondent for the company Kayla Braxton told Busted Open Radio, "I've done a lot in WWE, I've thought about that, they've talked to me about being on the commentary desk. I give so much kudos to commentators. That is a difficult job. I remember talking to Renee Paquette when she was doing it, talk about a talented woman who could do pretty much anything under the sun. But it's difficult, so I don't think that's going to be my route. I've stepped down from hosting The Bump. I would like to look at some new potential shows to do. I live in LA with the intention of getting some more pop culture crossover here in WWE, potentially with podcasts. We'll see, but no, I will not be wrestling anybody in the ring. Never gonna happen." After being signed to WWE over the summer and making his return at the most recent premium live event to help the LWO, it seems Carlito is now once again a part of the company's roster, as their official website even updated his bio. It reads, "Son of legendary competitor Carlos Colon, Carlito emerged in WWE in October of 2004 as an exceptionally opinionated superstar who projected a smooth demeanor. Armed with an apple in hand, the southpaw from San Juan wasn't afraid to unload a mouthful of apple and spit it into your face if you were not cool in his eyes. That said, Carlito also had the ability to unload a serious arsenal onto any opposition at the drop of a hat. Carlito made headlines on his very first night on SmackDown when he defeated John Cena for the United States Championship. He would go on to capture the Intercontinental title and unify the WWE and World Tag Team titles alongside his brother Primo at the 25th anniversary of WrestleMania. Re-emerging in WWE at Backlash 2023, Carlito exploded back onto the scene by joining forces with Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar to defeat Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits in a six-man tag team match. Expressing interest in a rematch against the Tribal Chief and undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns, Logan Paul said this about their prior encounter at Crown Jewel last year. "That's my proudest performance in WWE. It was my third match overall and only my second singles match. Triple H and the executives trusted me to go with the face of the organization, headlining an event in Saudi Arabia. I couldn't believe they trusted me in that position, but I was so excited to show them I could do it. I was really enthusiastic to come into my own as a wrestler, so I really over-prepared for that match. It paid off. I pray that it's going to age nicely and maybe Roman and I can run it back. He's so good." Mentioning the shots that AEW President Tony Khan took at The Undertaker and John Cena, as well as WWE after AEW Dynamite went head-to-head with NXT in a ratings battle on Tuesday, Eric Bischoff said this on his Strictly Business podcast. "I think Tony's beyond help. I don't think Tony Khan is the type of person that wants help. I think Tony Khan more than anything else wants to be Paul Heyman or wants to be Vince McMahon. Yeah, this is a vanity project. He loves wrestling. Okay, I get it. He loves wrestling. He loves it. He loves it with every fiber of his being. That doesn't mean he's good at it. And unless Tony recognizes that he's not good at it, you could bring in anybody you wanted to and it won't work because he won't listen. Not to the extent that he needs to. I wouldn't wish that position on anybody that I know. Absolutely not." Staying on the topic of Tony Khan, it seems some within AEW would like him to stay off social media, as Brian Alvarez noted on Wrestling Observer Live. "I've heard that Tony needs to get off his phone and stop tweeting. You know who I heard that from? Not WWE. Well, yeah, from WWE too, but also from AEW. They are saying, will someone get this guy's phone from him? When it comes to getting approval from AEW PR for his online posting," Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful said, "of those that we spoke to, there wasn't any real concern or issue with it, and most of the reaction reflected that of social media, either thinking he shouldn't have tweeted it at all, or thinking it was him having fun with a situation that didn't favor him." Another pointed out that right after the tweet, he announced a series of matches for next week's Dynamite while people were on his profile. Recalling an interaction she had with Vince McMahon, former WWE star Melina said that she knew she was being fired due to this, telling Wrestling Shoot interviews. "I didn't know I was being fired until the next day. The next day I went to go support John Morrison because I had to drive him to SmackDown because he was working on, I think it was either SmackDown or ECW. I drove him to the show, so I stayed and I was in Gorilla. Vince was passing by and he stopped and he turned and he looked at me and he said, 'You have a good night.' Then he turned around and walked away and all the guys were like, 'Wow, you know, he made sure to say good night to you.' I was like, 'Holy, I'm getting fired.' They said, 'Oh, shut up, Melina, you're not getting fired.' I said, 'He just said F you to me, but with a good night.' And sure enough, a couple of days later, I got fired. I called it. Bringing up the rise of Rusev Day in WWE, producer for the company Road Dogg said on his Oh You Didn't Know podcast, "I always like to say it's the opposite of, my only point of reference is me and my history. It's the opposite of Rusev Day. It's something that's caught on and they're running with it instead of something that caught on and they didn't run with it, even if it would have been where it caught on for 6 months and they printed shirts and they printed money with him. I just feel like that's one of the things I look back on and I say, man, I wish that would have been different. But to me, what I see is progress in the way it's being handled today. It's like, oh, they heard it. They see it. It's undeniable. Get on the surfboard until this son of a gun hits sand." Noting the original plans for a feud between himself and the late Bray Wyatt, Karrion Kross told Chris Van Vliet, "So we fast forward. I haven't talked to anybody but my wife about this, so fast forward, we were supposed to work last WrestleMania. Nobody knew that except for a collection of writers and some people in the office." Van Vliet clarifies, "Was this WrestleMania 39? Yeah, we were slated to do something, and we would talk for hours about how we wanted to get into it, what we wanted to deliver creatively for people, where we thought we both needed to be. We had ideas with Alexa and Bo and Scarlett, and then everything happened the way it did, but he left a mark on anybody and everybody that he ever met. And it's just very strange the way everything kind of just played out beautiful and tragic. And he was always an inspiration to me and always showed me warmth. He showed everybody warmth, you know what I mean? But I just have I have more stories than we have time to share, but we were cool and I'll never forget him." For a status update on Ronda Rousey following her departure from WWE, Ringside News wrote that it was previously reported that before SummerSlam that Ronda Rousey was saying farewell for now. That goodbye will likely be a very long one. Ronda Rousey wrestled her last match in WWE at SummerSlam, and it appears that she has other options. As Ringside News exclusively reported, the WWE creative team was told to nix all plans for Ronda Rousey. It was later reported that Ronda Rousey was eyeing a UFC return. That might not be in the cards for her either. At this point, she seems to be staying off the radar for the most part. Ringside News reached out to a tenured member of the creative team to ask if there is any word on Ronda Rousey. We are told that Ronda is not discussed. During SummerSlam season, the creative team was told she was finishing up at SummerSlam but was under contract for a while longer. It was noted that it is unclear how much time a while longer means, whether that's 1 month or 3 years. With CEO of Endeavor and TKO Group Holdings, Ari Emanuel, telling Bloomberg that moving Raw off of Monday nights is an option for a new TV rights deal, it was added that Ringside News was told by a tenured member of the WWE team that there have been no internal clues or hints about where Raw lands. At this juncture, Nick Khan and Endeavor are keeping that very tight, as they should. Reports have circulated that WWE employees, staff, and talent on the Raw brand would much rather see the show stay on Mondays. After all, Monday Night Raw is an American institution at this point. We can't confirm that the feeling exists that those in the company would rather see Raw on Mondays. That being said, this is a call that takes place at the highest corporate level and not one that WWE fishes around the suggestion box to determine. When it comes to Randy Orton returning to action in WWE after having back surgery last year, it was said that there have been several updates about Randy Orton's WWE return. In other news, Randy Orton reportedly got huge during his time off from WWE. Ringside News exclusively reported that WWE has a plan in place for Randy Orton's return. We were told that his comeback would happen this year, but it won't be until after SummerSlam. Randy Orton has started training for his return to the ring. This sparked a lot of rumors about his comeback. We do know that he has been at the WWE Performance Center, and he's not trying to keep himself hidden either. Ringside News exclusively reported that there were never plans for an RK Bro reunion. This was even before Riddle's release from the company. That being said, the Viper's return is coming. Ringside News reached out to inquire about the status of Randy Orton's WWE return. We were told that Randy Orton's return is described inside creative meetings as soon. As Rey Fenix ended up losing the AEW International title to Orange Cassidy recently. This was said as the reason for that, as Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful noted. According to sources close to him, Fenix is facing visa issues that will have him out of action on AEW TV. We aren't sure the length, but the decision was made to move the international title that was never set to be on him in the first place. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.